beautiful Leos. How are you guys? As you know, this is, of course, your reading for mid-June 2025. Thank you for being here. So, Leo, the biggest energy that came through in meditation was layers. I was shown somebody mending a brick wall, pointing, mixing a little bit of cement, filling in gaps in the wall that was sort of where the cement had crumbled. It's called pointing. I then saw somebody strengthening a table that was a bit wobbly. They bashed in another nail and they put wood glue on the inside. And they thought, okay, that's a bit more stable. I then saw somebody looking at their bank account and they were thinking, well, liquid cash isn't good, but in a few years' time, I'm going to be able to release a small amount of money. There could be some money coming through from that investment, and I've got my state pension. So, Leo, I feel as if you are pulling in your reserves, strengthening what you've got, and just trying to relax. You may have been through a little bit of a roller coaster. It might have been to do with a relationship. It could be that you had health issues. It might have been relating to your finances. You're on the straight and narrow, as in you got yourself sorted. You're still feeling a little bit nervous, but what you're telling yourself is when everything is said and done, everything's good at the moment. I feel, Leo, for many of you, your mind may have sort of scooted forwards 5-10 years. Yes, but what's going to happen in 5 years? What's going to happen in 10 years? You'll try not to think about that. You'll try to live in the moment and just be very careful with your current situation. Yeah, strengthening your current situation. All right, Leo, here we go. This is the Melancholic Muse, guys. If you'd like to reach out for a private reading, my website's down below. All the decks are listed and the link is there to join the channel if you'd like to become a member. Every Sunday, I put out weekly videos of about half an hour for all my members. Yeah, so if you're interested, it's $5.99 a month. Okay, so my lovely Leos. I mentioned that because I've had a few emails, right? Some people couldn't find how to join, but it's very easy. Just click the join button and everything will come up. All right, so Leo, I'm not getting anything drastic happening at this point of time. Leo's thinking, thank God for that. I just feel as if you are settling back down again after feeling as if your feathers have been ruffled. Is just the energy coming through. Feeling almost a sense of relief. Okay, well, that could have been disastrous. It was okay. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm not going to stress about it, but I'm going to be very careful. Okay, Leo. Yeah. All right, guys. So, yeah, Four of Pentacles. You're taking a breather, Leo, after a little bit of drama. You may be, for some of you, feeling your age. I definitely don't think I'm connecting with somebody in their early 20s. I'm sorry, Leo, if you are. You're hanging on to what you've got. You are stable, but you don't have a lot of excess to play with. Okay, guys. Okay. Crossing that, the Knight of Swords. You may be thinking about a very intense conversation you had with someone. You may have sat in a little bit of fear, if I can speak. You may have been slightly nervous, looking at the facts. But Leo, I feel as if this is the calm after the storm. That's the biggest energy coming through. In the past, Leo, the Moon. You may have had issues with a Cancerian, Leo, or you may have simply sat in fear that something was going to disintegrate or you were going to have major problems. After that time, Leo, I feel as if there might have been a bit of drama, an explosive conversation, or a situation that blew up that you had to act very quickly to bring back to the energy of peace and calm. You managed to sort this out, Leo, but it might have taken it out of you emotionally, even financially. It may be there were arguments here about finances, or there was a lot of differences of opinion. So you sat in fear, you spoke your piece, and then you let everything calm down. You're hanging on to 4 pentacles. You're thinking about a very intense conversation. And it's as if you are just enjoying the silence at this point of time. Okay. What you don't know, Leo, is this ever going to blow up again? Am I going to find myself in hot water again? Or am I going to be facing financial difficulties again? You don't know. But right now, everything's calm. In your thoughts, the 2 of Pentacles, yes. You're in your head, Leo, making a decision. You could be thinking about juggling money. You could be thinking about putting money aside. You could be reorganizing your finances. Or your mind, Leo, is going 100 miles an hour, but on the outside, everyone would think that you're just chilling out. There's a lot of cerebral activity, Leo, but you're not letting it show. You've got a lot on your mind, guys. In the immediate future, the Queen of Cups. Now, you could be thinking of a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, Leo, or this could be you. You may have a very strong Leo placement, or you are coming through with someone kind-hearted, warm, loving, and giving, someone compassionate, somebody who thinks about others. In your fears, the Queen of Swords. Leo, I think you are fearing that the Queen of Swords, somebody who may be being a bit strategic, is going to upset the apple cart maybe again. This could be somebody who's caused you issues at work. This could be somebody that you had an argument with. It could have related to money, stability. This could have been somebody that you had an issue with relating to money. It might be now, Leo, while you're sat in the 4 of Pentacles, you're okay, but if it wasn't for this Queen of Swords, you would be better off financially. You are somehow fearful of the Queen of Swords. In the environment, Leo, is the Empress. Wow. So we have 3 feminine energies in your life. In your hopes, Leo, the 3 of Wands, hoping your ships are going to come in. The outcome, the Death card, Scorpio, major change and transformation. So guys, I think I'm dealing with a family dynamic for my Leos for mid-June. I think there was a ruckus, a problem within the family. Now, you could be a masculine coming through as a Knight of Swords, basically trying to obtain some kind of order in a family dynamic with your wife and 2 kids, something like that. There might have been a third-party situation, but I'm not going to go there yet. Or Leo, you could be a female who is in a family dynamic, but you may feel there's been a lot hidden from you. There could have been arguments to do with children, finances. It might have been a bit messy. But you're sitting in a place of peace and calm right now thinking, I hope this lasts. Clarification for you guys. The 10 of Cups. Yeah. This is a family situation. Wow. 3 of Swords. Where there was some heartbreak, Leo. There was some heartbreak in a family situation. I'm just going to move the camera a fraction, guys. Okay. There we go. Clarification for the Empress. 10 of Pentacles. Okay. The Empress, Leo, is either sitting on a lot of money and you're clutching hold of 4 pentacles. This could have been an argument about finances. Or Leo, you are having a very straight conversation with your wife, or Leo as a feminine, maybe even your mother. This could be about family money, inheritance. Page of Cups. Okay. So what we have here, guys, is I think a family situation that blew out of control. There might have been a little bit of jealousy and envy. There may have been issues where one family member was favoured over another, right? One might have been the favourite, the other felt left out in the cold. There may have been financial issues to boot. And Leo, there might have been things that you felt your family was hiding, that you intuited. But at this moment, Leo, everything's nice and calm, so you're not doing anything to sort of break open Pandora's box. You're just not doing it. Underneath the deck, guys, we have, interesting, the Four of Cups. Leo, I think you have consciously isolated yourself because you wanted time to think. If you look, we've actually got a chair next to you, but I don't think you've invited anyone to sit down on that chair, whether or not, you know, it's a friend of yours or a family member. I think, Leo, you are just wanting some time by yourself to think about your future. Your future. I'm hearing no one else's, your future. With the energy of the Hierophant, you may be leaning on your spirituality, or you could be thinking about a Taurian in the mix, or a very traditional process. Temperance, you may be thinking of a Sag, or you may be guided by Archangel Michael to just sit in peace and calm right now and hand the reins over to the divine. You're okay, Leo. There was a roller coaster. It wasn't easy. It was stressful. But when everything's said and done, you're okay. You're more than okay, actually, Leo. I do get a sense again that you are enjoying the silence, symbolically, okay. You may be running around quite busy, but I think the noise in your head has dissipated, although you are trying to put various scenarios in sort of different parts of your mind so that you can look at these later on. You're sort of cerebrally pigeonholing various elements of your life. I've got to take a closer look at that. I've got to really look at that in depth. That needs untangling, sorting out. You're doing a lot of thinking, Leo, but at the moment, you're reveling in the calm. So, guys, here we go. Archangel Michael. Why is Leo thinking about the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords? Justice. Wow. You might be thinking of a Libra, or you may have spoken your piece, Leo, because you wanted justice. It could have been justice for feeling left out in the cold. It could have been justice because maybe you felt you'd given enough of yourself, but when it came to you, needing a helping hand, needing somebody to lean on, everybody sort of disappeared. You may have seen a family dynamic slightly differently, okay, taking the rose-tinted glasses off. And I think, Leo, you've been sat in self-love. You may have felt, okay, well, when the chips were down, the people that I thought I could rely on weren't there for me. So knowing that in the future, I've got to totally rely on myself for my emotional happiness and for some of you, your financial stability. So even if you're married, Leo, you're not taking anything for granted on the one hand, but on the other hand, you're making sure that if anything happened to your partnership, if you are married, you will be okay financially. If you're single, Leo, you may have felt that if things went under, you could rely on family. You may have realised, sadly, that you couldn't. You may even have realised, Leo, that some family members were almost in competition with you, which might have been a shock. So Leo, this is actually a crucial time for you, because even though nothing much exciting is happening in your life or nothing dramatic is going on, you're in your head 24/7. You're in a calm place, but there's a lot going on in your mind. Ace of Swords. Wow. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. You're starting a new cycle, Leo. The Chariot. You may be thinking, Leo, that if things get difficult again, you might have to make a major move. It could be change jobs. It could be change location. It could be to end a partnership if you're with someone. But at the moment, Leo, you're just letting the energies flow. Yeah, but look at that. Internal conflict. I don't know if things are going to blow up in the future. I don't know if I'm going to be all right. You are worried about money, but you're reveling in the silence at this point of time because you need time to think. So guys, in the past, the moon, something was hidden from you. And that was, somebody might have been a bit cold with you because they were sitting in strategy. They were trying to achieve something in another area of the world, or this is someone who was strategically communicating with you online, or this is someone who was actually strategically trying to close out a cycle. You figured this out, Leo. And I think it caused you burden. This could have been you realizing that a family member was up to no good, or this is you realizing that your partner was about to leave, or this could be you thinking, yeah, somebody was strategic about money, a legal contract, which put me under pressure. Whatever happened here, Leo, you knew intuitively that this was going to blow up. You may have tried to preempt it, or you may have called someone out when you realised what they were up to. So what was the Eight of Wands? Yeah, and then we have the Tower. There might have been an issue with a Scorpio or an Aries. What was the Tower moment for you, Leo? The Nine of Cups. The Tower moment, Leo, was that you realised that someone was being overindulgent. Somebody wasn't being open and honest, or somebody had a strategic plan. What was the result? Okay. With the Page of Pentacles, Leo, you may have received an apology from someone, or if this is to do with money, you may have been paid one pentacle back. It wasn't enough, Leo. But I think you accepted it because either that was all that was on offer, or you realised that you might have been a bit naive in the past and you didn't think that somebody would be as calculating as they actually were. So it might have been a wake-up call, could have been something to do with a member of your family, might have shocked you, right? This is you thinking, God, I never thought my brother would behave like that, or I didn't think my sister would do something like that to me, or I didn't know that my parents would sort of hide my inheritance from me. I mean, whatever happened to Leo, it was tough on you. I think you sort of packed up and you moved on. Now, whether or not, Leo, you had financial issues and you had to move, or whether or not you decided just to accept what was on offer and call it quits and just let everything die down, even though this was unequal. Everyone's situation is going to be different. But I think, Leo, what you're relieved about is at this moment, there's silence. The dust has settled. There are no more arguments. There's no more drama. I do think, Leo, with the Four of Pentacles, you are slightly worried about cash flow. But you may know that you've got money coming in later on. So it's a question of you just being frugal with yourself and being careful with money, maybe for the next few years. I'm not getting few months, Leo. I'm getting the next few years. So you're not saying anything to anyone, but there's a lot going on in your mind. Yeah, there's a lot going on in your mind. You have a heck of a lot that you're thinking about. 10 of Wands. There's a lot you're thinking about. It's as if there's so much in the cavern of your mind that you've just touched on the tip of the iceberg. What I mean by that is, you know that if you delve deeply into your fears, your worries, your doubts, you could become highly stressed. You're not doing that. You're forcing yourself to bury the 10 of Wands in the crevice of your mind, in the back of your mind, right? Every time you start to feel that sense of fear and worry, you push it away subconsciously. I'm not going to sit and stress. There is no point, right? No point. Yeah, 2 of Swords. I don't even want to delve into the recesses of my mind because I could stress myself out. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, right? But you are, again, in deep contemplation. For some of you, I don't know, you could have blocked a Virgo, or you may feel a Virgo is not being honest with you. So in the immediate future, we have the Queen of Cups and the Empress. Now, Leo, I am taking you as the Queen of Cups, but take it as it resonates. You could be thinking of a Queen of Cups. And the Empress could be a Taurus or Libra, a mother or a wife. The Empress is sitting on the 10 of Pentacles, and with the Page of Cups, this can either be a child she's thinking of, or this could be an apology. So Archangel Michael, when do we have the Queen of Cups and the Empress coming through for Leo? Thank you, Michael. Okay, Michael's talking to me about February last year. This all kicked off around about February last year. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm hearing September. I'm hearing revisiting the situation, revisiting. Leo, everything's going to be pretty calm, but you may find yourself bringing up a past situation, either to clear the air for good, or because there's something that never really quite made sense that you just want to tie up and put in the back of your mind, right? Just let it go. Let's have a look, Leo, at the Empress. Tell us about the Empress, Archangel Michael, thank you. The Empress is celebrating stability, celebrating a property. All right, so the Empress is doing well. The Empress is happy. Feeling as if she's won, feeling as if she's achieved. Tell us more about the 6 of Wands. What's this victory and success all about? The Knight of Wands. This Empress moved very, very quickly. She could be coming through as a younger fire sign, and she achieved something monumental relating to a lot of financial stability. So this Empress did well financially. Yes, this Empress was given quite a lot of money. This can be breadcrumbing, but she sat on the 10 of Pentacles. So this Empress was given quite a lot of money. And so she sat as a single Empress on the 9 and 10 of Pentacles. Wow. So this to me looks like a single mother. 9 of Pentacles is a single person. The Empress is a mother. We have the image of the Empress holding a child. We've got a page here and the 10 of Pentacles. So this Empress did very well out of all of the members of the family. whatever the family dynamic consists of, we have a single mother who is sitting on quite a lot of money. Now, Leo, I think you're coming through either thinking about the Queen of Cups or you're coming through as the Queen of Cups. What's your energy? The Knight of Cups. Okay. The Five of Swords. The Four of Swords. How do you feel about the Empress, who seems to be single? Queen of Pentacles. You know, Leo, she's sitting on a lot of money. She is the Queen of Pentacles. She's nice and stable. She's relaxed. She's got enough money to take care of herself, her child or children. She's a single parent. Because, Leo, of something that happened in the past. She did very well. What happened in the past? There was a toxic situation that you, as a masculine Leo, may have taken control of as a father. She may have fallen pregnant, and you may have made sure she was financially very stable as a doting father, right? Or Leo, as a family member, you could be this Empress's brother or sister. You may have felt that whatever happened in the past, she was strategic, Queen of Swords, in being very intelligent, in locking down quite a lot of family money. And Leo, you may not have seen it for what it was way back then, because Leo, you're not the sort of sign who'd be sitting in strategy. You're just not. You got a huge heart. You just want to make sure everyone's happy. So as a female Leo, you may have just carried on during your life, you know, got your head down, but you may have had a sister or an older family member who got away with quite a lot of money. And this is a single parent. What are you thinking about? Whoever you are, whether you're a father figure, whether or not you are a sister, is what I'm getting. Eight of Pentacles. Leo, if you're a masculine and you know quietly that something that you did in the past enabled this Queen of Wands Empress to sit on a lot of money, what you're doing is working on your finances, I think, to balance the situation out. If, Leo, you are the sibling who ended up with the short straw, this is a single Empress who's sitting on 19 Pentacles, right? She's doing very well, single mom. You, Leo, may be clutching hold of 4 Pentacles, thinking, well, that's really unfair. Whilst this single mother Empress is sitting on a lot of financial stability due to the kindness of family, and maybe being a bit strategic, I'm having to work my butt off, 8 of Pentacles, to keep a roof over my head. So Leo, you may not be communicating with this Empress, 9 of Pentacles woman at the moment, because you may feel that she was the one that actually caused a lot of upset and drama in the family. And it could be because she ended up with a majority of the family wealth, which left the other family members struggling with their own stability. So she may be keeping very quiet because she knows that she's got what she wanted. But Leo, whether or not you're a sister or even a brother, or whether or not you're this father figure trying to calm everyone down, this wasn't easy for you because this was very, very imbalanced. Let's have a look at the energy between you, Leo, and this Empress, pre-Empress. Yeah, High Priestess, there's no talking. There's no communication between these two. So Leo, if you are a female or a masculine sat in your feminine, and this is your sister, who you may have felt was a bit strategic to do with money as a single parent, okay, bless her, don't know what she went through, but there was strategy here. She's got a child. You may feel that whatever she did was out of order and you may not be communicating. If you are this woman's father, you may have tried to take care of your daughter, having fallen pregnant or having been left by the father of her child. So you did the right thing in the past, but it might be that when it came down to other family members, Leo, you didn't have any money left to balance everything out. So there might have been a lot of upset caused by this woman. And I think, Leo, as a father, you may now be pulling back, thinking, okay, I made a mistake in the past. I let her get away with quite a lot. She's sitting on financial stability. I'm clutching hold of 4 Pentacles. It wasn't the right decision, but let's just see if we can keep everything calm. So I don't think the rest of the family is talking to the Empress pre-Empress. She's on her own. Because people are a little bit pissed off with her. People feel she may have been a bit greedy, a bit strategic. Okay. So tell us about the Three of Wands. You're hoping, Leo, that your ships are going to come in. You're hoping things are going to change. Your finances are a little bit dodgy here. Okay. Yeah, Three of Pentacles. You're hoping to work in collaboration with the rest of the family so that this family dynamic doesn't completely fall apart. I think you are hoping that things can be mended. Why? Because of the betrayal of the Empress pre-Empress, who I think was strategic in gaining a lot of family money, leaving the other family members in a difficult situation. So Leo, whether or not you are a sister feeling this was really unfair, or whether or not you're a brother sat in your feminine feeling as if your father took care of your sister because she was younger than you, because she fell pregnant, because she was left by the father of a child, whatever happened here, you could be, Leo, the father who was trying to balance things out with your children and your wife, right? After feeling a sense of betrayal by this Empress pre-Empress. It's as if you're looking back, Leo, either thinking, I just couldn't see it, or as a father, Leo, you might have been thinking, I really didn't do the right thing. I was trying to protect one family member here, this Empress pre-Empress, but in doing so, I actually caused betrayal to other family members. Because this Empress pre-Empress got away with quite a lot, leaving nothing for anyone else, right? So, Leo, I think with the Death card, you're hoping for transformation. You may be speaking to a Scorpio. You're hoping to close out a cycle that's been very challenging. Two of Cups. I think, Leo, you are hoping to pull this family back together again. You're really hoping you can manage to do that, Leo. Judgment. You may be speaking to a Sag. You may be thinking about the Five of Pentacles. But Leo, I think what you're trying to do is settle your mind. If you're a father who didn't make the right decision in the past to do with family money, you are trying to forgive yourself. You're patching things up with your partner, okay? You may be asking this Empress pre-Empress to face Judgment Day for the situation that she caused inadvertently, because you're still sat in the Five of Pentacles. You're still struggling. It could be, Leo, that if you are the family member who is affected, a sister or a brother sat in feminine energy, then you're trying in your mind to forgive your sister and just move on in your life. But you may not feel ready to communicate because deep down you're still very angry and upset at what she did, right? How she maneuvered the situation to her benefit. You're still not communicating, but you're trying to forgive her in your heart. She had her reasons, right? She may have acted out of desperation or fear of poverty. What else is on your mind? Leo, you've self-sacrificed enough. It's time for you now. You are seeing a very different perspective. And with the energy of the sun, I think you want to release the past and sit in a place of peace and contentment, Leo. I think at this point, Leo, you're not going to expect too much of yourself. I think all you're hoping to do is to keep upbeat, to keep positive, and to keep getting it, to keep the waters calm. You want to keep the waters calm whilst looking at the options that might be available in the future. Now, these could be options of happiness. These could relate to projects, ventures you want to get into. These could be creative pursuits. I think, Leo, you're desperately trying to let go of this tangled, toxic matter that caused issues in the past and move forward. I think that's what you're trying to do. Yeah. Wheel of Destiny. Wheel of Destiny, Leo. Yeah. You're trying to move forward onto a new path, remaining optimistic, keeping tight hold of your finances, keeping yourself emotionally balanced. You may have some irons in the fire pertaining to what you think you could do in the future. You may be trying to find ways of making more money, okay, to keep yourself stable. And I think you're going to achieve that. Six of Swords. You're going to achieve that, Leo. Beautiful. I mean, the Six of Swords, Leo, is you moving to a calmer place in your life. That's exactly what you wanted to achieve all along, right? Tell us about the Empress, pre-Empress, who sat on this money. Okay. Wow. Despite a lot of financial stability, I have to admit there may be guilt here. So, Leo, what does the future hold for you guys? Strength. You're going to be concentrating on holding back from being overindulgent. You're going to watch your money. You're also going to be concentrating on your health, Leo. You're going to be concentrating on your health, guys. That's your card of strength. And you're going to try to move into a place of inspiration again when you're ready, which may not be until July, August time, Leo, because I think this is still sort of in the back of your mind. You'll still come to terms with what's happened. You're still trying to balance your finances. But I think eventually, with the Page of Wands, you're going to feel fired up and excited and passionate about life again. But for mid-June, Leo, you're going to put this in the past. You're going to try not to think about it any longer. And you're simply going to be sitting in peace and calm, having moved yourself to calmer waters. This is a time for you, Leo, to think about what you want for the future and to put the past in the past. Okay? So, guys, I am leaving the reading there. I really hope it's hit one or two of you. I felt this was quite specific. Let me know, of course, in the comments if you feel this was for you. Take care of you guys, and I will be back before you know it with your next set of readings. See you soon, Leo. Bye now.